Here we are checking in on a couple of projects on the boat. One that went pretty well and one that was a little more troublesome. We'll start with the troublesome one first. So this trim piece around the opening to the seat locker, the previous one was all rotted out. So when it rained or when you were washing the deck down and water flowed into the crack, it flowed right into the seat locker, and it had the tendency to make everything a little bit moldy, mildewy and moldy. So I made this. It measured out perfect, it test fit perfect, and then I glued it together with some epoxy, and after it got hard, well, the angles weren't just right and it didn't fit. So after some fiddling around with it, cutting it apart a little bit, adjusting the hole, adjusting the wood here, I got it to fit. It now fits just about right, but I'm worried that if I took it into my basement and glued it up again, that it wouldn't fit again, that the angles might be wrong. So what I'm thinking is I need to bring the epoxy out here when I have enough temperature, re-glue it, clamp it into place, let it get hard so that it hardens in the correct shape with the right angles. I also had a little trouble, you might be able to see this, where I had to sand this down extra and sand down the back there extra so that the top fit like it was supposed to. The wonderful adjustments a belt sander can provide. So that was it for the more complicated, or the project that was a little more challenging. The next project was a little easier, or at least I was a little more successful on my first attempt, was an electrical project. I added a 12-volt receptacle so you can plug in your phone or your camera and have a charge, or use some other device that will run off a 12-volt receptacle. That's right here. And I also installed a stereo, so if I wanted to listen to music I could do that, or listen to the news or whatever, or just so I could watch the pretty lights on the stereo. And because the stereo is under this window, and sometimes I have a tendency to forget that I have the window open when I'm washing the deck and water splashes in, or even once in a while when it's sealed up and you don't tighten it enough, a little water will leak and drip in. So I took this piece of scrap window material I had from building the Dodger, put some trim on it, put some butyl tape in the gaps so that water couldn't flow in there behind the radio, and hopefully if some water splashes in, it'll splash off this screen and flop out of the way and won't wreck the radio. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do this, but I could put a snap on here so I could snap it up like that. But I'm not unhappy with the way it's turned out, where it just kind of hangs down curved and protects the stereo. It'd be hard to splash water on it. If you did get water there, it would probably, hopefully with any luck, at least that's the intent, you never know if it works like you want it to, the water would flow off and not short out the radio. So we'll see how that goes, but two projects almost done. This one's done. I did a test run with the battery the other day and it worked, sounded good. Or sounded better than nothing, I can at least say that. And the other one, I think I've got it underway, and I just got to bring out some epoxy when I'm going to have above freezing overnight, and I have time to come out and glue it all together. So it went pretty well overall. I also made this little bag that I can put something electronic in here if I need to, plug it in there to let it charge, camera, phone, that type of thing, batteries, whatever else you might want to charge with the 12-volt charge receptacle. So, if that was helpful, let me know. Probably not helpful, don't let me know. Get ready to go sailing.